I want to take this opportunity to share a little bit of my life with you. But before I do that, please go ahead and click on the subscription button and the like button for more of my videos. My name is Cyrus and this is Tutum Network. This will be very short but captivating, trust me. Let's get into it. I used to school with several Africans from different countries who couldn't see nor speak of anything good in their country at the time. And it always bothered me. Many of them hardly had any good thing to say or any good reason to return home when they graduate. And the impression was to not return until they made it. Then fast forward, there was a time in my life when all I did was complain about things and regrets for returning home, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, all I could see were the problems surrounding me and in my community. The closest friends I had at the time shared similar thoughts for some reason. And later on, I realized all the news I was watching were news of bad happenings. It became my worldview at the time for a while, and nothing became attractive anymore. My life was about regrets and hates for my circumstance. Meanwhile, I had other friends on the other side I seldom met. Those guys had a lot going for them and therefore never had time to waste around. Anytime I would engage them, I felt they spoke a language I couldn't relate, and I'm being honest. They were constantly planning on their projects and comparing notes and discussing events as though they weren't part of the local economy. It became uncomfortable for me after a while whenever we met. Until one day, ladies and gentlemen, they invited me to one of their business meetings. It was there at their business meeting I realized that, no, maybe I'm wrong in the way I think. Maybe I'm wrong in the way I look at things. These were business people who came out to have a good time. They ate rich foods and drank good wines and looked happy. They all came in driving in good cars and feeling relaxed, but I wasn't. I stared and asked myself all the questions throughout the evening. Questions like, what do they do for a living? And where do they live? And why are they so organized and happy? It made me somewhat happy, but also felt left behind. But I quite remember, ladies and gentlemen, when I left the place that night, I knew I had to make changes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the beginning of my rebirth. Listen, folks, stop talking down on your country and on yourself. There is a greater role for all of us to play than what you have experienced. I want to make this clear to you. The worldview that we currently have isn't the whole truth, nor the whole story. It is so far from the end. We can be great in Africa. We can be successful right here in our home countries. But we can only do that with a renewed mindset. Within our countries that we complain about are thousands and maybe millions of people who laugh to the bank all the time. They use the same roads we use and the same currency, but experience different economic situations, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get up and start making our homes and our towns and cities and countries great. After that business meeting, ladies and gentlemen, I started looking at what to do and where to start. It wasn't clear and simple from the beginning. But one day I met a Lebanese man in Accra some 5 years ago. When I thought the economy of Ghana wasn't doing well and I complained about it to him, this Lebanese man who had just moved here was quiet all this while and said this to me: you have the best country in the world. Shortly so. And I was confused. He said again, you have a wonderful city. And if I had this peace you have in your city, in my country, do you think I'll leave my country to yours? Ladies and gentlemen, that hit me differently. This immediately gave me a sense of a lack of appreciation for what we are used to. This continent of Africa isn't far from becoming a success story. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, Your personal economy isn't far from becoming a success story. The problem is not just the challenges we face, but the roadblocks we have put in our own paths. Ladies and gentlemen, you have told yourself your true life will only begin when you reach Europe. You have successfully convinced yourself you cannot make it in your country unless you get a visa to America. And for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, you haven't invested much in your career and in your future in your country. This is the roadblock you have placed in your own path. I had to start looking at things differently. I started different businesses and lost at them all, but continued. The new people I had allowed into my life had brought a new sense of reality into my world. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I suggest to you. Get involved with different people as you go and revise your worldview from time to time. Put aside the problems around you and look at the solutions you can provide in your community. Start loving yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Love your country and love its people. Turn away from shortcuts. It's never going to lead you to anything sustainable. Don't get into prostitution if you are contemplating on this. Avoid robbery and gambling. Stand for what is right all the time and get serious with your life. This journey is a warfare. You will not have people motivate you all the time, and that's not what you actually need in the first place. You need discipline and focus. You need to tell yourself the truth at all times and work out your own success, ladies and gentlemen. Get into business, however small it may be. Start something. Don't waste any more time, ladies and gentlemen. Africa will be great, and it will be because we own it, ladies and gentlemen. There is no one coming to save you, so start something now. The time to speak with friends all night talking about nothing important is gone. Catch the sleep when it comes and get to work when day breaks, for this life is not waiting for anyone. And be patriotic, ladies and gentlemen. Love your country and the people, and speak well about your country, even though the leadership is a total mess. Don't be caught up in the cycle of pessimism. And above all, you don't need to cross the Mediterranean to make it in life, ladies and gentlemen. The percentage of people who make it is so small. You are very likely not going to make it. Don't throw away your life if you are listening to me today. And let me share this other story with you. There is a childhood friend I knew who left for Europe via Libya. That was what we were told at the time. Till this day, we never heard from him. As to whether he got there and chose not to communicate with family back home or not, nobody knows. But one thing we do know is it's been 25 years and no word from him. What do you think has happened to him on the desert? Stay alive and stay focused, ladies and gentlemen. Stay and work hard right here in Africa. Stay and start something. If one neighborhood isn't working for you, ladies and gentlemen, move to the other, but do not leave. Africa is a big place for all of us. Remember this, there is no country out there that will love you for who you are other than your own people. My life is not the best I would want right now, but it's definitely not at the level I used to be. This is to you that lives in Ghana and in Uganda and Cameroon and the rest of Africa. We have a continent to build. Let's start with building our own lives right here in our countries and bring along our brothers and sisters when we get to the top. Let's not waste any more time on unproductive and criminal enterprises. It isn't worth it. When we love our country and its people, we will do what is right by them at all times. So lift your head up, Africa, and take on the mantle to improve yourselves and our continent, starting from our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, I love this place. I love this continent. This place is home. Let's make it work for ourselves and our families. And thank you for taking time to watch this episode. And have a lovely weekend. Be sure to subscribe if today is your first time with us. Catch you in the next one. It is bye-bye for now.